Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. The theme for this episode is cheating partners, cheating stories. I know we just did the cheating story subreddit, but I found some other cheating stories. I figured let's do it. The title of the first story is I, female 23, found out 7 months ago that my boyfriend, male 26, has been cheating on me, but I haven't told him I know. I found out while he was away for work. A girl he slept with sent me a DM on Instagram. She told me everything and even sent pictures. I remember staring at my screen, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. I felt like my entire world had just shattered. I didn't even respond. I just sat there, drowning in pain. I finally understood what it meant to have a dagger to the heart. Anyways, I made a decision I wouldn't confront him. Instead, I grieved and mourned our relationship like it had already died. I've been with him for 3 years. I thought everything was going to be perfect. I didn't see this coming at all. That entire week, I was alone, cycling through every emotion imaginable. And this might sound crazy, but there was a part of me that almost needed to feel the pain. Like I was clinging to it, letting it consume me. And this may sound emo, but it felt good. I can't explain it, but I felt alive. Maybe this is borderline masochistic, but whatever. This is how I wanted to cope. Meanwhile, the girl kept messaging me. More pictures, more details, receipts, and even videos. It just got worse and worse. It turned into taunts and cursing. It felt like she was desperate for us to break up, but I never responded. Instead, I kept reading her messages over and over, torturing myself with the truth until at some point it didn't hurt anymore, and I started to feel numb. He was still himself, sweet and caring and affectionate. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have suspected a thing if that girl didn't DM me. He would sometimes catch on that I'm acting off and I'd blame my hormones or stress from work and he would buy it. I pretended everything was fine and he would have noticed something was deeply wrong if he wasn't busy cheating. I think it also helped we got along very well as roommates and friends, but we were still sleeping together. He was a generous lover, too generous even, and it helped bear with it all. I lied, saying my implant fell out, so we began using condoms, and I got myself tested regularly. Thankfully, I was clean the whole time. I eventually started seeing him as someone I lived with, and we just happened to have sex. It took months, but one day something inside me shifted. Like the love I had for him started fading. I went through every stage of grief. Now I feel free and lighter. I know I can live without him. And that realization is the most liberating feeling. This is the craziest part. Everything I once found beautiful about him started to look distorted. I started to see flaws. It was like I was under a spell, adoring and loving this man. And now when I look at him, I'm like, how? This week, I'm moving into my own place and I'm finally breaking up with him. I'm mentally checked out and I'm at peace with myself. I am okay. I feel a sense of dread, but also a sense of relief that I will finally break up with him. It took 7 months to finally get over him. I don't know if I'll tell him that I know he cheated on me or just say I don't want you anymore or just ghost him. All I know is I'm breaking up with him. Do what you have to do, honestly, to break up with someone. I always feel like, yeah, if you feel like you need to stay in the relationship to get over them, while that's obviously not like the healthiest, and it would definitely be a quick, clean cutoff just to break up and no contact and say, bye, I'm breaking up with you. But sometimes it's easier to stay with someone until you hate them and until you finally stop loving them. And then once you actually break up, it's like you've already been mourning that relationship for so long that you're done with them as soon as you break up. And there's no more even grieving to do other than like that final goodbye. And that's it. Which honestly is a much better feeling than breaking up and then going through it. But I would just say that's a little bit unhealthy and I wouldn't recommend. But if it's what you have to do, I support it. Some relevant comments. This person said, you absolutely should tell him you know he cheated. He shouldn't be absolved. Ghost him and leave the screenshots, but at least let him know that you know he's a piece of shit. OP said, I have a private folder on my phone with everything I saved. I was just using it to keep my feelings in check. This is a good idea. Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support. Akimbo Slice 1 said, "At first, I thought you went about it wrong, but you took your time to build your strength and heal. I guess we each have our own journey. That being said, please ghost him and give him no closure. That will mentally mess him up for his betrayal for years to come." I agree with that. Upon reading, the initial reaction is that's definitely a little unhealthy, but then it's like, you know what? Do what you have to do to make it easier for yourself, especially after someone cheats on you and you find out. Don't make it easier on them. Make it easier on yourself and choose you, and then screw them, put them through hell. Oops, sorry. Oh, he said, "My initial goal wasn't to heal, but to feel. I didn't know what I was doing. I ended up healing anyways, and I'm glad it worked out. If I ghosted him, it would definitely mess him up. Besides the relationship, we were best friends." Strike Excellent said, "This is what my psychologist recommends. Feel it and then let it go." I also think that ghosting is the way to go. If you tell him that you know about the cheating, he will get better at hiding it from the next girl or even blame it on the girl who DM'd you. Ghosting without an explanation will make it easier for you. You don't need to explain. You don't need to waste your time listening to how he would change or that it was a mistake, etc. If you don't give him a reason that he can challenge, it will be better for you. You did the work. You deserve your peace. You deserve your peace. You owe him nothing. He deserves nothing from you. The opposite of love is indifference." And then OP responded, "I've been dealing with this alone for so long, mentally sieving through my thoughts, feeling the pain so deeply. It was therapeutic. I was at rock bottom for a while, and the only way out was up. I'm mentally in a better place. I'm starting to enjoy the little things again. I can finally breathe. The way I dealt with this was definitely unconventional. Thankfully, I now do feel indifferent, and I'm free. And thank you for your kind words. I do deserve peace." Exactly, sister. You do. You deserve peace. There's an update. It says it's March 30th, 2025. "I finally moved out early this morning, right after he left for work. It was his place, and I didn't have much to begin with, so the move was easy. I'd been slowly filling up my new place over the past month, getting everything ready so I could leave without a hassle. A lot of you suggested that I ghost him, but I couldn't. That's just not me. I don't like disappearing on people, even when they deserve it. So instead, I came back that evening and waited for him to get home from work around 7 p.m. I was nervous, but also kind of relieved for it to all finally be over. When he walked in, I was sitting at the dining room table, wearing my coat. He immediately sensed something was off. He asked me where I was going, and I told him, quote, home. He laughed and said, quote, but you are home, clearly trying to play it off, but he could tell something was up. Then I sent everything I'd been collecting, screenshots, videos, all of it, to his WhatsApp. He looked confused and asked why I was texting him, and then he opened the messages. I watched the color drain from his face. I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I did. He went pale, breathing heavily, and just placed his phone on the table, staring at me like I was a ghost. I didn't say anything. I just watched him. Then came the begging. He grabbed my hand, apologized over and over, said he didn't mean to cheat, claimed he ended it 3 months ago, that, quote, she meant nothing, and how much he loves me and wants to marry me. I told him we're never getting married. It's over, and I didn't say anything else. That's when he broke down crying like a child. I was honestly disgusted. I stood there watching him on his knees, clutching my legs, begging for forgiveness, and I felt nothing. No sympathy, no sadness, just done. I was completely checked out. I didn't want to say much to him. I just felt numb, and it felt so pointless. Eventually, he turned into this emotional, sweaty, sobbing mess. When he went to the bathroom, I grabbed my last backpack and left. It's finally over. I'm grateful I don't love him anymore. It was an unconventional way to get over someone, but it worked for me. Thank you for all the kind messages. Edit, he texted me from a new number and sending me pathetic messages. I posted on my account. Messages? I love screenshots. No. I'm annoyed because they're fucking deleted, but this is on Best of Redditor, and they included editor's note, post deleted, and the texts were unrecoverable, but reading the comments, you can get a grasp of them. The text transcribed. He said, this will be the last time I message you. Please hear me out before you block this number too. Natalie. I'm sorry for all the drunk messages last night. I shouldn't have blown up your phone like that, but even now, with a clear head, I can't stop thinking about how easily you shut me out. It's honestly hard to believe the way you switched off. It's cold, babe, and that's not you. That is not the person I knew. You used to feel everything so deeply, care so hard, and now you're just gone. No emotion, no fight, just silence. It hurts a lot, like I meant nothing to you. You've always been gentle, empathetic, forgiving, and now it's like I'm talking to a version of you I don't even recognize. You're too kind, too pure-hearted to come up with this. It honestly feels like your friends have been in your ear, turning you against me, feeding you this coldness, convincing you to cut me off. They've always been jealous of you. They never had a man that would love them like you did, who would fight for them like I am for you. Because I refuse to believe that the Natalie I knew, my Natalie, could just go cold like this without being pushed. No way. It doesn't add up. Please think for yourself. You know how much I love you. Besides this mess, we've always been good together. You're my best friend. We've been there for each other through hard times. It hurts not only it's my fault, I'm losing the love of my life, but also my best friend. Lastly, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry, Natalie, for everything I did, for cheating, for lying, for all the pain I caused you. I truly hope you find peace. I'm not going to message you again. I'm choosing to let go with grace, even if I didn't get the same in return. You made your choice, and as cold as it was, I respect it. I deserve it, and I just hope one day you look back and realize I owned my mistakes while you just iced me out instead of working through it. Remember, I wanted to fix this, but still, I wish you the best. Take care and know that I'll always love you. Goodbye. Oh, boo-hoo. That's so dramatic. Like, you're the one who cheated. She's icing you out. What did you expect? For her to be like, it's okay. Oh, I'm sorry that you're sad. It's not about you anymore. It's about her because you're the one who cheated and you're the one who caused the breakup in the first place. So why are you acting like the victim here? You're the victim of her icing you out. This isn't like her. Oh my God, she's being so cold. Okay, well, you didn't know what she could be like when someone betrayed her like that. And now you know. I don't understand. Like, what did you expect? Did you expect her to baby you? Be like, it's okay. Like, don't feel bad about it. No, what you're feeling is guilt. And you should be feeling it. You shouldn't be excused of your guilt just because you owned your mistakes and said that you're sorry. That means that she just owes you forgiveness. Nar, she doesn't owe you forgiveness. She doesn't owe you forgiveness, babe. The top comment says, I love that she kept him for another 7 months. The side piece was hoping OOP would break up with him and she could swoop in and nab him. But OOP just froze her out and waited until after they had already broken up. So much for stealing her man. And then someone responded, pretty sure he'll be in that girl's DMs after he sees that OOP doesn't budge. Maybe not. I mean, you broke us up. To the other woman is so much easier than a cheater reflecting on how they started it. He will do both. He will blame the other girl and then he'll love bomb her. And the kind of girl who would intentionally steal another girl's man would eat it up. They would get married and have a bunch of kids with him cheating the entire time. I wonder what happened with that girl. Like, what did she end up doing? The title of the next story is, I emotionally cheated on my husband and it's killing me inside. I've never said this out loud, not to anyone, but I need to get it off my chest, even if it's to strangers. It started so small I didn't even notice it. Just someone I used to work with, he reached out one night on LinkedIn of all places, congratulating me on a promotion. We chatted, nothing inappropriate at first. But I started looking forward to his messages, his compliments, the way he remembered little things I said. My husband, he's a good man. He works hard, he helps with the kids, and never once raised his voice at me. But life with him has turned into bills, errands, bedtime routines, and somewhere along the way, I think we both forgot to look at each other. The emotional affair went on for almost 3 months. Just texts, voice notes, late night conversations about what ifs, never physical, never even met up. But in my heart, I know what I did was cheating. I gave parts of myself to another man that were supposed to be for my husband. One day, I looked at my husband. I really looked at him, and I saw the man who held my hand when I gave birth. The man who kissed my forehead when I had a panic attack in Target. The man who still keeps extra ketchup packets in the glove box because I always forget, and I felt sick. I blocked the other guy, cold turkey. Never told him why. I never told my husband either. Part of me thinks he knows something was off. He's been quieter lately, more distant, like he's trying to give me space without knowing why. I'm writing this because the guilt is suffocating. I know there are people who have done worse, and people who will say I didn't really cheat, but I know I did. Emotionally, I left my marriage for a while, and now I'm clawing my way back into it. quietly, hoping he'll still be there when I figure out how to forgive myself. I don't want to destroy what we built. I just hope it's not too late to rebuild what I almost threw away. See, that's why I could never cheat, because I would be clawing at my face every day, being so guilty and feeling so bad that I would never be able to go on. Like, I'd have to break up with them. I mean, I guess I could tell them and then like let them decide what they want to do. I would have to say something. I would just feel so awful, especially as a chronic overthinker. I would be killing myself with the overthinking. We have a guest. She's in my lap right now. You might be able to hear her purring though. She's so loud, but you can't see her. Okay, but the comments are saying, if it's over and you're not going to do it again, don't ruin his happiness. You live with that. Not being mean, but don't do it to him. Someone said, I've asked before, would you have been better off not knowing about the affair? And my truthful answer is yes. The affair was a symptom of a much deeper problem in our marriage and compatibility. If she had just told me she wanted a divorce and started dating him afterwards, I probably would have been suspicious, but I wouldn't have annihilated my self-worth. In cases like this, you need to accept where you are. Being shared that the last year of marriage was a sham gave me the odd responsibility of needing to accept a year's worth of where I was. I think that if my boyfriend were to have an emotional affair, I would rather not know, as long as he wasn't going to do it again. But obviously, like, if he's going to do something like that again, then I would want to know, so then I could leave him. But honestly, like, I don't know. And obviously that's different for everyone. I'm not saying like don't tell your partner that you emotionally cheated on him, but for me, I like I said, and I always say, I'm the biggest fucking overthinker in the world, and it like kills me sometimes when something even like remotely happens to me. Like, if I have the Sunday scaries once, as in like I got really drunk and I kind of like did some questionable things when I was drunk, I think about that. Depending on what it was, I think about it and I overhype it in my head so much, where I think it's like the biggest deal and everyone hates me for months. It's like anxiety for a whole year. It's crazy. There were 2 times that I got really drunk and I held on to those 2 nights for months, and I would think about them at random times of the day and just get sick to my stomach. It wasn't even anything crazy. I literally told you guys both the stories. I remember I would talk about it sometimes, and it wasn't anything even crazy, but it's just like you being drunk and like just not really behaving like you would regularly that makes me sick to my stomach. I'm like, I would have never done that. It was like my alter ego, and I hate her. I hate her so much. Her name is Sally, and quite frankly, she's really fucking annoying. The title of the next story is, I, 24 male, just walked in on my fiancé cheating on me with another girl. Title says it all. Doesn't even feel real. I drove 18 hours to see my grandpa in another part of the country because his health is declining rapidly, and I wanted to ensure that I saw him at least one more time. I took Tuesday to Sunday off from work and planned on driving back on the last 2 days of my time off. It's a 12-hour drive, sleep at a hotel, and then final 6-hour drive home. However, I decided I could drive the 18 hours in one shot and didn't need to get a hotel because I was doing fine on the road. I make it back at 4 a.m. this morning, and as I walked up in the driveway, I hear music blasting from the inside of my house. I thought that it was strange, as my fiancé is usually asleep by 1 to 2 a.m. and never plays music that loud, let alone at 4 a.m. I walk in the house in the bedroom, where I found my ex-future wife, who is 25 by the way, literally giving oral to a girl that couldn't have been older than 18 or 19. She sees me walk in and immediately gets up and starts crying hysterically. My jaw hits the floor, and I immediately head back to my truck, with my fiancé following me outside, butt ass naked. I didn't even know she was into women, and now I get to see her sleeping with another girl. I got in my truck, went to the local motel to sleep and think, and now I just woke up with 1,000 million texts from her, and I have no idea what to do except for write this. It's always they immediately start crying and begging for forgiveness, as if you weren't just cheating. As if you weren't just cheating on your partner and they walked in on you. What do you mean? Because you know that if they wouldn't have walked in on you, you would have been keeping on doing what you was doing. And you would definitely not have been crying. You probably would have woke up the next day. He would have come home and he would have been like, "Hi, honey," and acted like everything was fine. And maybe it was eating you up inside. But the fact that you immediately start crying as if like something took over your body and possessed you to do that is just diabolical. Diabol. The top comment says, "Well, shit. At least she showed her true colors before you got married. I feel like divorce is probably emotionally taxing more than a breakup." Yes, plus the side benefit of being financially devastating. True, true. I would much rather that than them cheat on me after, of course. That's the one thing that's like so... It sucks, but at the same time, it's like, thank God they did that before we got married and after, and not after. King McClofton Hunger said, "Call off the wedding. Cheating is cheating regardless of gender." Well, yes, it is. And then someone responded, "People just don't get that, man. I've raised daughters, I've raised sons, and I have gay sons and a female to male trans son. You know what I realized about all these effing kids? The only difference was who they took to prom. Same ability to be a douche, same ability to do dumb shit. Gender or orientation are moot in these. Cheaters suck. You don't want to marry one. Kick her ass to the curb. She will be fine, but then so will you." I feel like also if you're questioning your sexuality, like I know that it can be like so hard and you're in a relationship and coming to terms with that, but that does not give you the excuse to cheat. You either break up and like you can figure yourself out when you're single, or have a conversation and be like, "Hey, I'm questioning my sexuality," see what that person feels about it. I don't know. Sometimes people will be like, "Okay, well, I'll give you some space to try to figure things out," and like sexually, and then, which I'm not saying everyone is okay with that or that this person would have been okay with that, but you never know. Some people would be okay with it. I wouldn't, because I am not into like that kind of stuff where people do things sexually outside of the relationship with me, but I know some people are comfortable with that stuff. So I don't know, because I've never been through this situation, but I know that there's a better way to go through with this situation than cheating. That's like the last thing that you should do. At least if you don't want to tell anyone, because obviously it can be hard to come to terms with, and like it's a thing that, you really have to process. Break up with them. At the very least, at the bare minimum, break up with someone if you think that you're going to cheat on them. I just don't understand. Like, regardless of if you're questioning your sexuality or not, cheating on someone, why can't you just break up with them? Oh, and this one is going to get me. This one is going to get me going. The title is, "My husband cheated on me at the bachelor party. Am I wrong? 12 years ago, we got married. I didn't want to know all the details of his bachelor party, like I already know strippers were going to be all over him. But in short, I know his bachelor's was the typical. He went to a strip club, he got very drunk, and they rented a bunch of hotels to sleep over the bar across the street. So that's all I really knew. But he never told me that he slept with his male-ordered stripper. His friends hired 2 escorts for my husband to choose from. He chose the, quote, better-looking one. We reunited with one of his friends, and in conversation, that came up. My husband looked unhinged while the friend was telling the story. I stopped and said, 'You did what?' I kept yelling and cursing at him, and he was so confused why I was acting ghetto on him. I told him he cheated on me, but he got mad at me for such an accusation. He said this is literally what bachelor parties are for. You're stuck sleeping with only one woman for the rest of your life, so you have to get it out and bang a really hot one on the bachelor party." I was shocked. I literally has never heard of this, but I'm also not accustomed to American traditions, so I don't know if this is actually true. But from the movies, it sometimes looks like he's telling the truth. It sounds crazy, though. For my bachelorette party, I just got an expensive hotel with all of my girlfriends, and we got drunk and enjoyed ourselves. I feel so betrayed, but it was also more than a decade ago, and we have 3 children now. Happy marriage and a happy life. This bothers me so much that he did this before we got married, but it was a long time ago. And next time, I will never say a man is allowed to go to a bachelor party. Bachelor party is to cheat on your soon-to-be wife? I'm so shocked. This is normal in Western wedding traditions. It's not normal, and it's not accepted. These men are just fucking psycho out here. These men are just delusional. A lot of them. Okay? Not all of them. And whenever I say this, like I always say this, and with my boyfriend, I'm like, yeah, that's because men suck. Sorry, if you're a man, honestly, click out. We'll hear the worst story ever of this man that literally is like freaking murders and essays someone, and it's actually insane. And it's like, I'm not even surprised. And he's like, me neither. He's always on the same boat as me. And I'm like, Slay, thank you so much. Thank you, King. And like, I obviously don't think that about my boyfriend. I think my boyfriend is just like the opposite of what I know of a man, because I know so many men that would think this way, that would be like, yeah, your bachelor is the one night. If I was about to marry a man and this is what I knew he was going to do on his bachelor party, this is what I knew he was going to do, because this girl is obviously like, I obviously knew it was going to be like, he's going to go to a strip club, he's going to get drunk, he's going to have strippers all over him. You better believe I wouldn't be marrying that person. If I knew, if that was something that I was just like, oh yeah, that's obviously what he's going to do. Boo, tomatoes, because that's not happening in my relationship. You can go do that with someone else, but it's definitely not with me. I think that just like the type of person that would do this and would think this is a normal bachelor party would just not be someone that I would be marrying. If that were the case, I would immediately break up and be like, okay, well, I didn't know that you were like that. And that is not what a bachelor party is for. You're acting like it's your death row meal. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm being forced. I'm on death row and I have to eat the last meal of my life and then I have to die. That's what they're acting like getting married is. You are fully choosing to get married. So if you don't want to get married and, quote, be with the same woman for the rest of your life, don't fucking get married. What the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with y'all? For real, I can't take it anymore. You're stressing me out beyond comprehension. The top comment says, my bachelor party was a day at the paintball range and burgers with friends that I'd seldom see again as I entered that new phase of life. The F a hooker, finger a stripper, and get blackout stereotype is a choice and far from the only choice. Go off, dubious Jen. Go off. Truth Watcher Tim said, my brother's bachelor party was at Dave & Buster's. My older brother and I, the best man, bought fifths of alcohol and we played games as tournaments for the winners. It was an effing blast, and my brother getting married never once effed a hooker, stripper, escort, or a stranger. My fiance's bachelor party is going to be an all-day, one-off D&D campaign to our house with music and whiskey and just good fun. No one has to drink, and the D&D game will be on and off for those that don't play. His brothers are planning some games, but there will be no strippers or hookers. Like, it's not even an issue. Why can't this be more the case? I feel like my boyfriend loves hanging out with me. He's like, he told me the other day, he's like, every single time I go to like golf with my friends, obviously he loves golfing with his friends, but he's like, immediately after he's done golfing, he's like, I always feel like I want to rush home to you because like I haven't seen you for a few hours and like I miss you and I want to hang out with you. And I just always feel like I'm in a rush because we were on our way home from the golfing range the other day, and sometimes I go with him and I'll just like take a beach chair and I'll just like watch him hit balls because I've had enough of the golf life. Okay, he tortured me for 2 years trying to make me golf, and I did, but I need a break. So I've just been an observer, and I'll just sit there and watch him. And we were on our way home, and he was just like, I just feel so at peace now because you're in the car with me, so I don't feel like I have to rush home to like see you. And it was just really cute. I was like, that's just to say that I feel like me and my boyfriend, when we get engaged, we'll just have a joint bachelor and we're not going to have a traditional wedding regardless. So obviously like everything we do is going to be pretty non-traditional, and that includes bachelor and bachelorette party. And I feel like we'll probably end up having a bachelorette party together. I don't know. I feel like that would be more fun, honestly, because it's a bigger group and we can all just like mingle and have fun. Like, not that I don't need to be with him every second of the day. That's not the case. We're not codependent, although we were previously, but we're definitely like not at all. We just like love each other and we want to hang out all the time. We want to be together. We're best friends. It would be more fun for us to be together on a bachelor or bachelorette trip because what's the point in not? I mean, it's fine if you want to do it the traditional way, obviously, like to each their own. Okay, that's the end of the story time. We're going to move on to the advice segment. If you ever want unprofessional advice from me, there is a Google form in the description below that you can just give me as much detail. And I also have a Google Voice number. It's 561-264-7017. And you can just leave me a voicemail on there if you would rather call and ask me advice than type it out. This says, hi, first off, I want to say you're so awesome and I love that you're willing to learn things and keep the conversation going in the comments. Love you so much. I haven't talked about this with any of my friends because I know the advice will be break up, and I want to start with this. I don't want to. I don't want to break up with my partner for this, as we've talked about it, and it's not going to happen again. But last fall, we were still in this weird in-between state of dating. We spent almost every day together. We hadn't been seeing anyone else for almost a year. He had a thing about not wanting to be exclusive in words, but had promised that he wouldn't see anyone else until he at least went to therapy. He broke that promise. He slept with someone else at his place, and I came over the next day, and I knew immediately something was wrong. He was hiding something from me. Even his dog was telling on him. It was an entire fight that ended up in him deleting every app and promising no one knew. We made up. I thought we were okay from there. I still haven't gotten over the pain of that, and I don't know how to think about it because it's technically not cheating. We weren't together, right? I noticed he was still talking to this person, and I told him it made me uncomfortable that he was still talking to them sexually because I thought we agreed that it was all over. It turns out they slept together again after our huge fight. I was so angry. I thought I was stupid and going insane, like I was the one not getting it. I guess what I want to know is, how do I get over this? I've talked to him about the pain, and he's apologized profusely, and I know he means it, and I know we're exclusive and solid together now. But how do I start to actually forgive and forget this? An apology just doesn't feel enough to my heart, but there's nothing else he can do. He can't change that he effed up. I just want to pretend it didn't happen, that this wasn't what made us actually official. What would you do? How would you handle this besides just leaving? Love you in a healthy parasocial way, sissy. Love you. Oh my God. This is so hard because my number one response is leave him. And I know that you're not ready to. And I know that that can be so hard to have to accept that you need to leave someone, obviously, because you really love him and you want to give it a chance. But what I have to say is if you really don't want to leave him, which is my number one, that's going to make you the happiest. That's going to be the best decision for you. And so I just have to say that before I say anything else, just to let you know, that is like the number one thing that I would recommend. Since you're asking how to handle it besides just leaving, I would say get comfortable with the fact that it happened and try to heal from it while you're with him. Also, accept that he might end up breaking your heart again. It might end up with your relationship ending in a dumpster fire. And if that's something that you can accept and that's something that you can come to terms with, then you can stay with him. I guess like it would be similar to sleeping with one eye open. I don't know. It's definitely going to be stressful though, which is why I'm always going to come back to breaking up with him is going to be the best decision for yourself, especially it would have been way different. I would have been way different about it, which I would never, ever recommend to stay with someone after they cheat on you. Because no, were you guys dating? No. But that was mainly because he didn't want to be exclusive, right? Like he was the one who didn't want to. So there was clearly motive behind that. And we found out what the motive was. It was because he wanted to sleep with other people. Not only did he do this once, you guys got in a huge fight about it. He saw how hurt you were. He apologized profusely, and then he did it again, which makes me not believe his apology in the first place, and it makes me not believe the apology in the second place either. No one who's actually sorry would make the same mistake again. And he did. He did it again after knowing how upset you would be. And also is obviously not like the healthiest way to start a relationship when it's because you want to try to make something like this not happen again. But regardless, the type of person that he is, it seems like it doesn't really matter if you guys were exclusive or not. Like it seems like even though you're exclusive now, he might still cheat on you. And unfortunately, if the option for you is that you just want to stay with him, this is something that you're going to have to accept is that he might cheat on you again. I think that there's probably a big chance that he will. And I don't want to like be harsh or anything about it, but that's just the reality of the situation. I truly think that there's a big chance that he will cheat on you again, and that's just something that you have to come to terms with if you want to stay with this person. But I love you so much, and everyone deals with things in their own way, and everyone goes about situations in their own way. And maybe it's something that you have to go through to learn from, and then you won't put yourself through this situation again in the future. I don't believe that you're putting yourself through it. I do obviously think that it's the cheater's fault. I don't think that it's your fault, but just like knowing that he's cheated and then staying with him after it happened twice, even after he said that it wasn't going to happen again, you just have to know and keep it in the back of your head that this is the type of person that he is. That's really all I can say. But I love you, and I hope that it works out for you. The next question says, I just need support. Hi, Jamie. I'm a recent listener. I started listening to your channel 2 months ago, and I absolutely love it. I'm a 26-year-old international student in the UK, and I've been trying to find a job, and it's so difficult. I live with my aunt, who keeps pressuring me. I'm also failing in my master's degree. I also broke up with my long-term boyfriend of 12 years 2 months ago. To top it all off, I'm now pregnant with my situationship's baby. I'm getting an abortion on Friday. I'm so terrified of the complications that I might face because I'm living with my aunt who doesn't know any of the things that are happening. I feel like everything is piling up, and I don't have girlfriends in the UK I can lean on for help. Any advice or encouraging words will be appreciated. You are going through so much. I'm really, really happy that I can be there for you, at least virtually, and that you can watch my videos and I can be somewhat of someone in your life. I know that like when I am not with people often, so I don't get like a lot of human interaction, only when I hang out with my friends and when I see and when my boyfriend comes home for work. But I work from home all day long, so like the only interaction I get is my cats, and so I find a lot of comfort in content on YouTube. So I really hope that I can be that for you and that I've been that for you. That's like one of the biggest things that I feel like I want to do through this channel, which is why I feel like it's so important for me to also like not only just read stories but be personal with you guys and do advice questions like this and stuff, because I don't want to just be like a robot that reads you guys' stories. I want to like have that connection with you guys and build a community. And I know that it can be really lonely. I'm sure it can be lonely to move internationally. Like that sounds really scary because I moved all the way from Iowa to Florida, and that's not even half of what you did. And I found it really hard after college to make friends and to have close people in my life, and I know how hard it can be to be away from like what you know. First, I have to say that I'm really proud of you for making the decision that's best for you, because I know how hard it can be, especially I don't know where you're from. You're dealing with so much, and I just hope you know that you are so strong for even being able to get up every day and being able to live your life. And even if you are struggling academically, like you are going through so much, and even just being able to reach out shows how strong you are. The first thing I have to say is that it's okay to fall apart right now, and it's okay to be feeling awful. It's okay to cry and to be tired. You're going through so much. You're making really hard decisions, and you're having to hide it under your aunt's roof and not really having anyone to talk to about it, which that's just something that is so hard to deal with on its own, not being able to have anyone to talk about, or even the person that you're living with, you can't even talk to them about it. That's really hard. It definitely takes a lot of courage to make the decision that you're making with getting an abortion, and I respect you so much for that. I would definitely recommend looking at clinics that have an aftercare program or even emotional support for after you go through it. Just looked up a helpline that you could call for after abortion recovery care and helpline. This one is 0345-603-8501. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and every evening, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's free one-on-one counseling, face-to-face, phone, or video. And there's also a website called abortiontalk.com. It's a UK charity offering a free confidential talk line to support anyone who wants to talk about their abortion experiences. And I'm sure there's other ones that you can find as well, but that's really important. And I feel like it's going to be even more important after you go through that experience, because I'm sure I've never been through it, but I have had someone close to me go through one, and I know that it can be really hard, and especially if you feel alone already. The other thing that I have to say to you is that you definitely need support and you deserve it. So if there's anyone that you feel at all comfortable with talking to or opening up to, like a university counselor or a women's health center, someone online that has offered to maybe talk to you, I really encourage you to lean on them and to find support with other people or another person, because you don't have to carry this alone. Even if it feels like you have no one right now, you deserve to have someone to lean on and to talk to and open up to about what you're going through. Everyone does. And you may feel really stuck, and I'm sure it feels so like everything is happening all at once. It's like so much turmoil is happening. This is not your forever. But for now, just remember to be gentle with yourself and make sure that you are eating, make sure you're getting your rest. Write down your feelings if it helps. I always recommend journaling in almost every situation that you're going through. I always think that journaling can be a really free, that's like the biggest thing. It's free, and it also helps so much to get your thoughts out. And another thing that I recommend alongside that is like video journaling on your phone. When I'm going through hard times, I used to just open up my phone and start recording myself and cry to the camera as if I'm talking to someone, and it just makes you feel a little bit better. Even if it's just a little bit better, anything that helps is beneficial. But I'm really proud of you for reaching out, because obviously that is a big step, and I hope that I helped you even just a little bit. I hope that you feel comforted just hearing me talking to you. And I really hope that you remember that you're not broken and you're just in a hard chapter. I love you. And if you need someone to talk to, my Instagram DMs are always open. So the description below has the link to my personal Instagram, and you can always reach out and I will try to be there for you. And I know that it's like very parasocial, obviously, because we don't really know each other, but I'm always willing to listen and offer some type of support as much as I can. I love you, and I hope that everything gets better, and I hope that you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I also just want to tell you that I'm really proud of you again, and please keep holding your head high. Love you. That's the end of this episode. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Obviously, if you have any comments on the stories that we talked about, or you have anything to say to the advice segments, always remember to be kind in the comments to not only me, but also be kind to the advice segment people that are asking for advice, because obviously they're being vulnerable with asking for advice. And I never want to be like harsh with advice that I give. I always want to try to be as empathetic as possible, and I hope that you guys can also be empathetic with the advice that you give in the comments as well. But I love you guys, and I really hope that you have the best day ever, the best night or afternoon or morning or whatever you're going through right now. And I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. I'm going to go film a Patreon episode. So the Patreon is in the description below if you ever want to support me on there and get extra content every week. I post every Saturday at 8 a.m. on there. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye, sissies. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.